comes to building a Wood-Mizer portable sawmill, we start with quality and end with quality. And as most people understand, a good piece of machinery is made up of only the best parts. That's why our raw steel comes from some of the largest and most respected companies in the United States. Not only do these companies provide us with heavy-duty steel, but they're also our partners, working together to ensure that each mill has a solid start to its manufacturing process. Using some of the most advanced CNC laser cutting equipment, sheets of metal are cut with precision and planning. Technical operators program and run these sophisticated machines, which cut out various pieces that are important in the sawmill design. While the sheet metal is being processed, other parts are being cut, machined, turned, and bent in preparation for their place on the sawmill. Because our sawmills are made to order, parts for each specific sawmill are placed on a cart as it works its way through the stages of manufacturing. The necessary sawmill pieces are taken to the welding department to be stored at point of use. There are four main areas for welding: the sawmill head subassemblies, the sawmill bed, and the sawmill bed subassemblies. Wood-Mizer is proud that all of our welders are AWS certified. These professional welders have met the stringent standards as set forth by the American Welding Society. They put safety and quality first by protecting themselves and caring about the way they make each and every weld. Whether they are putting together the smallest sawmill bed or the largest sawmill head, every weld is accurate and consistent. With each blast of heat, the sawmill starts to come together. It's fascinating to watch them work as they take the same care and concern that an artist takes when creating a masterpiece. The next stop is the wash bay. Using high-pressure water, each and every piece is thoroughly washed and rinsed. The washing operator takes his time to make sure every inch is clean and ready for paint. He even dries the units off with an air hose so they are not touched by human hands. Now, it's time to get ready for the orange. The sawmill head pieces and the bed units are rolled into the paint booth by the painter. He knows exactly where he wants them placed so he can maneuver around. He works his way up, down, and across each unit with rhythm and grace, applying a coat of primer first and then the recognizable Wood-Mizer orange. Working with electrostatic painting technology, his ultimate goal is to have good coverage and a smooth finish. Now, since some pieces of the sawmill are accented in black, sometimes the head and bed units have to wait patiently for their time in the paint booth. But even when the intricate units are in the booth getting their black paint, they'll receive the same special attention. Speaking of special attention, the electrical assemblers pay close attention to the wiring details. These technicians put together all the wiring harnesses and cabling needed for the hydraulic sawmills. While it may look like a sea of colors and confusion to the average observer, there is a science behind every wiring bundle at each station. That science comes into play in the head assembly area. There are 3 assembly stations for the sawmill head. First, the basic components of the head are assembled. The second head assembly station inspects and prepares the engine for mounting. In the third and final assembly area, the wiring components are standing. Here, the assembly crew installs the electronic controls onto the head. Each of these assembly stations has a dedicated team that works in unison. With their knowledge and skill, the sawmill head becomes more than just steel and parts. It's ready for its job to saw logs into lumber. In order for the sawmill head to do its job, it has to be united with the bed. So the crew working at the bed assembly station prepares the sawmill bed. Depending on what model sawmills are being built, the men working at this position are also responsible for installing the hydraulic lines, wiring, trailer axle, and wheels. When you watch them assemble, it's like watching a family gather around a table for dinner. They reach for the right part and the right tool, find their spot at the mill, and install the component. For 9 hours a day, these guys work side by side, keeping a positive attitude, and for many, when they leave the shop, their lives continue to intertwine. When the fundamentals of the bed are in place, then it's ready to receive the head. With care and concern, the installers place the sawmill head on the sawmill bed and guide it down the monorail and back. Then they go to work hooking up the wiring, checking hoses, installing the outriggers, fenders, and other final touches. Again, this busy group of workers finds their spot at the mill and knows what needs to be done. Each person knows what step to take, and they are so familiar with each other that they even know what steps the others are going to take. They are right there to lend a hand and make a connection. A final test of the hydraulics and a double-check inspection makes sure everything is in order before the team starts to package up the mill for delivery. When the mill is completed, it's rolled out of the building by hand and hauled to the mill lot. It won't be long before the mill heads to its next destination, a customer's home.
Progress is a way of life in America, fast-moving and constantly changing. I'm Greg Gumbel, and from business to technology, from the bustling cities to the peaceful suburbs, we're going to take you coast to coast, showing you today what you're going to be talking about tomorrow. Welcome to Eye on America. Every day, technology is revolutionizing how we live. This story focuses on creating the world of tomorrow.
The forestry industry is experiencing new challenges as the need for wood products are increasing, shipping costs are on the rise, and environmental restraints on timber harvesting are more prevalent. These hefty demands on the industry are causing a decline in the number of small to mid-sized sawmills, and some are turning to technology and innovative equipment designs to improve efficiencies. Designs such as portable thin kerf band sawmills are not new to the sawmill industry and entrepreneurs, but have been revolutionary since they first came onto the market 25 years ago.
At first, the portable thin kerf band sawmill gained little attention, especially from the commercial forest industry. But the low cost of the equipment, along with the innovative changes in material handling and its ability to produce high-quality lumber, has gained its acceptance from the hobbyist and farmer all the way to those considering a commercial venture.
Today, there are over 30,000 of these thin kerf saws in the field, and the availability of this technology is utilized in both the commercial and private industries to generate successful output and help those with dreams of starting their own businesses come true.
The kerf is the thickness of the cut a blade makes as it passes through the log. The ratio of usable lumber to the amount of sawdust produced has a direct relationship to kerf. Bottom line is, a thinner kerf produces more usable lumber and creates less sawdust from any given volume of wood. Thin kerf technology has been available for years, especially in the portable sawmill end of the business. It's now being expanded to the higher volume producers. Until now, no one's been able to raise the blade technology to the level to be used on mills that produce at higher output levels.
With a blade made of fine-grade steels, the thin kerf produces the benefits of an industrial-level sawmill for smaller entities.
The challenge has been to manage the stress on the blade in the high-volume operations. Traditional bandsaw blades were unable to handle the stress and were failing. By developing new technology in blades to be able to handle the stress and be affordable, it opened the door for small and industrial operations to produce high-quality lumber safely and economically.
Sawmills are able to harvest timber more efficiently. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture Forest Service, the U.S. annual cut of timber for lumber products is equivalent to approximately 240 million trees. However, if the sawmills operated at a 70% recovery efficiency, we could get our annual harvest of lumber from 171 million trees, saving 69 million trees annually.
Not only does it use less raw material, since we get more usable lumber out of every log than with the traditional blade, but the thin kerf blade also uses less horsepower and is much less costly to operate. The net result, same pile of lumber from 3 logs that otherwise would have taken 4.
These advantages are keeping sawmills profitable and in business.
Existing manufacturers have been hindered by log shortages, high shipping costs, and regulatory constraints in recent years can reestablish themselves. The low cost of the thin kerf portable sawmill also encourages small entrepreneurs to enter the sawmill business as well.
With improved recovery efficiencies, sawmills are not only remaining operational, they're also producing a positive impact on our environment.
The thin kerf band sawmills are environmentally friendly. They generate 60% less sawdust than traditional mills. Since they require less horsepower to operate, fuel costs are lower, fewer emissions are released, and less noise is produced.
The need for additional harvest from forests is also lessened as a result of increased lumber recovery.
This technology can help individuals and businesses to develop a cost-effective, steady supply of lumber for their operations. It will provide them with the resources to overcome the demands placed on the industry today.